Okay, that should do it. That sounds normal.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not the one that started this introduction.
No, I was about to, but you were very like, I was like, I wonder what she's going to say. But hi, I'm the Pine.
And I'm the Water. And you're listening to A Cup of Tea.
Mm-hmm.
That's
a podcast about exploring life through each other's eyes.
While sharing a cup of tea with you. I should enunciate more. While sharing a cup of tea with you.
And we're actually drinking tea this time. Unlike, I feel like several times we have been drinking coffee.
Well, I remember last time we were.
Or Mon water, maybe.
So watery.
I think it's just
It's so
ice in the top. It wasn't like that.
Okay, that's fine. It'll mix or something. I would like to start this episode by addressing the fact that I'm a little like peeved, annoyed. I don't know.
At
just how long it took us to set up.
Really?
And I feel like it took forever. And like I
don't know. I mean, I am also, but for different reasons. But I feel like it took us like a normal amount of time to set up.
Why are you peeved?
It's not for Acon. Why? Because
now
I can tell you later.
Now I'm intrigued.
It's not an us thing.
I guess I figured because you would tell me, I think. Anyway. So, yes, coffee, not coffee, chai. Chai is what we're drinking. That you're having hot?
Yes, of course I am.
And I'm having it iced. I feel like you sometimes drink iced chai though.
Outside, not at home.
You just don't drink cold stuff at home? That sounds good.
Like when I'm home, it's more that I'm always in the mood for warm, hot drinks.
This just tastes like watery oatmeal.
I know what happened. So, hold on. When I put the ice balls in it, and you know the cartera, the tray.
The cartera. How does cartera translate to tray?
It's an ice tray. It's a cartera de hielo.
¿Charola de hielo?
No.
Yeah. La charola
I have
de
never
los
called
hielos.
it a charola.
What the actual fuck? Cartera de hielos.
Yeah.
Please somebody intervene in the comments. Cartera de hielos? What the actual fuck?
I don't know. I've never called it a charola.
Okay, anyway. Your freaking ice wallet. Continue.
So, you know that there's little, like a tiny
It's
sheet.
annoying as fuck, yeah. I've been saying so many fucks this episode.
But no, there's like a tiny sheet of ice on the thing. So that tiny sheet of ice, I just crushed and I put it at the top of your thing. And I think that's all the water that you're seeing at the top
drinking?
of it. Yeah.
We'll see
but
if
underneath that, there should be tea.
That sounds horrible. You should not sell drinks to the public, ever.
I wasn't trying to.
Okay. So. It tastes funny, though.
Like
something.
Did you get to the tea
like
yet?
Cake. It kind of tastes like carrot cake. I don't know if it's a cold version. And the hot one just tastes like chai. But this, I swear to God, tastes like carrot cake.
It does not taste like carrot cake. What are you talking about?
What does it taste like that?
I don't know. But I do think it tastes different than the hot version. But I think it's more like the mug.
Carrot cake, I'm telling you.
No. There's something about the like metally mug thing, I feel like.
But I feel like it shouldn't interfere. It has glass.
I know it shouldn't interfere. I don't know. Maybe it's just the sensation of like how cold. I don't know. It's weird. It does taste different. It does not taste like carrot cake though.
It does. Believe me, it does. the topic at hand, which I was criticized for being like not paying attention to what you're saying when you were talking about it.
Yes.
Anyway, what is it? You can tell it. Since I only pay 30% of attention.
Yeah, exactly. So I feel it's so funny because I feel like we never start an episode with the actual thing that we're going to talk about.
No.
It's funny. We're just like, this is what we're talking about.
What? This might be very meta now, but what do you mean? We always say, I mean, okay, we say this random thing before we start.
Yeah, exactly my point.
But we already kind of did. We rambled about the tea tasting like carrot cake.
But it's like introduction tea, and then something weird, random, and then it's like, well, we weren't going to talk about that today.
Well, I can give you something random if you want.
What's the something random?
I've been lately, you know how I have, I can talk, okay? I can't just yap nonstop.
Everybody's saying yap these days, and I'm like, what is this?
It's hilarious though. You know, I like it. It's kind of funny.
I think you've been hanging out with teenagers too much.
That is also a possibility. But it is also a fact. I can yap nonstop. Anyway, I've been, you know how I have that 1 line a day notebook?
Oh, yes.
I've not been writing anything on it for like the past 2 months. I feel like it started at the beginning of the year where I wasn't here. So I couldn't write on it because I left it here. But I kind of kept like Post-its.
Yeah, I was like, weren't you going to like write it in some other place?
And my phone and whatever. I half-assedly copied it into the notebook. But then I slowly started not doing it. There's one thing that so I think it has to do with a little bit of, there's a name for this in like interior design or something about, not availability, but where you put stuff and that you use more often and that makes you like access it more or, you know, but because I shifted the orientation of my bed, the notebook is now on the other end. So it's farther away. Mind you, it's like 1 meter farther away. But it's far now.
So now you don't do it.
So now I don't do it as much. And I keep thinking about it. And there's two, like, so that's one thing. And the other thing is that I feel like I don't have a lot to say. Like, I mean, normally when I would go to bed, I'd be like, oh, what is the thought of today? But I wouldn't have to actually wonder to myself what the thought of the day, it just come up. And now I'm like, no, let's just go to sleep. And or sometimes I actually think of something and I'm like, oh, I'll write it later.
But never.
No. Rarely. It does happen, but not every time. And yesterday, actually, I hadn't had this in a while. It took me so long to fall asleep. I was just thinking and thinking and thinking until at some point
anything
the thinking
in particular
turned into actual dreams, and somehow I fell asleep. But it took forever, I feel like, which was very funny.
Were you
yes, I'm planning my birthday party. That's what I was thinking about.
Wow. Okay, nice.
Might be Friends themed. I don't know.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
I do think that I prefer my journal of like, because it's not a one. What?
I'm just thinking about the carrot cake tea.
Oh.
I swear to God, it tastes like carrot cake. Anyway.
I mean, to you,
proceed.
There's a chai at Whole Foods that tastes like Cheerios. So this one tastes like carrot cake. I don't know what to tell you.
It tastes like Cheerios. I swear, it does.
I mean, that one kind of does taste like Cheerios.
See,
that's why I stopped drinking it.
About.
But that does not taste like carrot cake.
There's something in this tea. Nutmeg? I'm sorry. I feel like we started this episode like here. Should we?
As I was trying to say,
I'm sorry.
I think that I prefer my journal because I don't have to come up with a thing every day. Like it asks me a question every day. But I am also behind, but not like 2 months. Like when the year started, I did do one every day, and I would do it either in the morning or at night. But then that kind of fell off the wagon a little bit. And now I kind of just do it once a week, and I do all of my days like once a week, which kind of works.
Okay. Well, that's kind of on topic. That's like not on purpose.
Okay.
On topic. I'm still crying from laughing. Because I will be serious now, and we're going to talk about archiving.
Please continue.
Archiving your life.
Yes.
Well, not archiving it, like putting it away, but like documenting it.
Yeah.
In like the social media ways that we are seeing now, everybody do, and the romanticize your life kind of movement situation.
Movement. I guess
it's kind of a movement. I don't know. I mean, many people are doing like and romanticize your life. Blah, blah, blah.
I mean, I feel like my Facebook has both sides of people, where it's like I'll get some posts that are about romanticizing your life.
It's the nutmeg. Enter.
Well, there you go. She figured it out. And then there's the other people that are like, oh, like things are very fucked up and you just romanticize it, and then that's why nobody does anything about it. But I think that's like more along the lines of, I don't know, mental health maybe, and burnout and things, and like stop romanticizing working until you burn out or something like that.
Interesting feed you got there.
Yeah, I guess, I mean, I keep it open.
I would have thought it was more on the anarchy, don't surrender to the control of the government or whatever, kind of don't romanticize your life.
Interesting. I mean, I can see that side of don't romanticizing kind of be a little that way. But if anything, I feel like it's more romantic to be anarchist. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like in the romanticized version, like you're the rebel and you're like fighting against the government or whatever in this like anarchy scenario. So I think that's more romanticized than not romanticized.
In a way. And I don't remember. I just thought of how in school, there's the romantics and like art period and literature and whatever. And I feel like that's so completely different from the romanticizing your life concept. But maybe I need to get my facts straight because I don't remember all that much.
Doesn't it? Because I feel like at some point I was trying to figure out where romance, the word, came from. And I was like Googling it or researching or something. Yeah. And something about how it was the Roman language or the like why is Spanish and like French and Italian and stuff like the Romance languages, and it was like because it was the language of the people, like it was the popular thing. But I'm not sure how you go from there to romantic and like romanticizing.
It makes sense now that I'm Wikipediaing it.
Okay.
Because the wiki says, the purpose of the movement was to advocate for the importance of subjectivity, imagination, and appreciation for nature in society and culture during the Age of Enlightenment and the Industrial Revolution. So it does make sense. Like, Romanticists rejected the social conventions of the time in favor of a moral outlook known as individualism. They argued that passion and intuition were crucial to understanding the world and that beauty is more than merely an affair of form, but rather something that evokes a strong emotional response.
I appreciate that.
Which, I mean, it does fall in line then.
Romanticizing.
Instagram, with this.
Yeah, it does.
So yeah, romanticizing your life. This is not how it started though. It was about the idea of like keeping a record of your life that kind of started with us talking about we're doing like I would say it's like a not a mockumentary, but like a practice documentary.
Yeah.
And we were talking about the idea of doing a documentary of something that we are doing. Like you started doing this thing, and so that's where the idea came up of recording you through the process.
Yes.
And in one of the interviews that we were recording, at some point I was blabbering on and I said something about documenting the process and the life and whatever, and everyone's like, this is becoming an ACOT episode. So it's the elucidations, is that the word? Elucidations?
I feel like it's more like elucidation.
Yeah, I think it is. I don't know where the D came from.
I don't know either.
Anyway, elucidations on why we document everything. And I was saying in that interview that I feel like because of kind of outsourcing memories is one of the reasons.
But you were saying you don't want to do that.
Yeah, no. So, like, I feel like there are several ways to remember stuff, right? One is writing down about it, like in our 1 line a day notebooks that we are following through, kind of. The other one is taking photos and taking videos and that kind of thing, which I think is sort of what we're talking about with the documenting stuff. Then there's also, maybe in a slightly different way, because I don't think it's on purpose, like you're not recording something somewhere about it, but I feel like music serves as a way to remember stuff also. I feel
like listening to like a specific
about.
song.
I think the music thing is something that we've talked about, and it's not that big of a thing for you, but I think it is for me.
In what way?
So like I tie songs a lot to specific moments, and when I re-listen to those songs, I'm like, oh, I remember exactly what I was doing at around that time, because my playlists are so, maybe not short-lived, but like time-based, kind of. And I feel like recycle music all the time.
Yeah, I don't really like do new music.
Yeah.
But I was telling Pablo this, I think last night actually, that I, for some reason or another, in the morning of that day, we started trying to guess each other's top 5 Disney songs. And like his are all like super like bangers, he says.
Of course.
Yeah. And mine, I had a little moment of self-actualization, which was very interesting to me. Because when I was trying to find my 5 songs, like I kind of knew what they would be or what they have been. But I've noticed that there's songs that were like super meaningful to me earlier on in life. And lately I'm like, it doesn't resonate as much anymore. And that's really weird, because I've like held on to them for like since I was little, and they're like my songs. And now it's like, oh, but now we don't feel this way. So that was very interesting, because then I had to like find the other songs that would do me justice, kind of thing. So when it comes to music, I think I have it's just by mood, kind of. It's not by time. Yeah, it does happen to me. Like if I listen to the radio or like I listen to some song, like for example, it happens a lot with a couple of Taylor Swift songs that the moment I hear them, I'm like, oh yeah, this is like me in Miami at the Preserve, going to work, going to do the shows like with the Tigers and stuff. Because it was like the only thing in the radio that I listened to the whole time.
Taylor Swift.
Yeah, it was. What's the? No, that's not what. That's not how it
Blank
goes.
space.
What? No.
What? What?
I just gotta shake.
Shake it off.
That one.
Same album. Anyway, those two are the two songs from that.
Well,
time.
that one was happening when I was in Miami. But yeah, like tying it. I understand the remembering things through music. But I guess because I just listen to the same thing over and over again, it doesn't work the same way for me.
Understand that. But anyway. Yeah, no, I mean, there's like that. But anyway, that was not the point. That was not the question at hand. That was just a passing thought. And the thing was, like, I feel ambivalent. It was like whether we should outsource our memories to photos. That was the question I'm trying to get back to.
Okay.
And I feel like yes and no. You know?
Elaborate?
Like, I feel like I take photos of a bunch of stuff.
Yes.
And some of the time, I'm like, oh, this is a photo of this thing that I'm finding funny right now or that I like or whatever. And I want to remember it later.
Mm-hmm.
But I found that there's this side to that where, oh, I did this. I took the photo and I'm saving it for later. And then I'm like turning my brain off and thinking, I don't need to remember it or remember
because
the details
there's already
because there's
of
a
it.
photo of it. Yeah.
Mm.
Which is so dumb. And I don't know where I picked that up.
But you think what's dumb is that you're thinking that you turn your brain off or that you actually turn your brain off?
No, like I actually, because it bothers me that when sometimes I'm trying to remember something, it doesn't fully come up.
Mm.
And I think this was part of the long ass train of thought from last night when I couldn't sleep, where I was trying to remember a friend's birthday party. And it was kind of funny because in my brain that night, like there's two sort of big, well, there's more than two, but like that was a very long day. That was a very long party. And I was sort of, oh, this whole thing was a one event. And in my brain, it's like scattered and, oh, I remember this part. I remember this other part. I remember this other part. Mm-hmm. Separately, sometimes like, oh, I remember when this happened and it was funny or whatever. But the moment yesterday when I was like, oh, it was one whole thing. Mm-hmm. And because of how time passes and you slowly start forgetting stuff, which is completely normal, I was like, but I wish I remembered more of it. And I wish I had written it down so that I could go back, read it, and be like, oh, that's cool. That's cute. I didn't remember this. I didn't remember that. Which is why photos, I think, are a cool thing, right? Obviously, I'm not going to stop taking photos. But at the same time, I think it's more about making an active decision in a moment to be more mindful or to just remember, to try to like fully appreciate what's happening instead of just being like, oh, I'll take a photo, you know?
So that night that you scatterly remember, were you taking a bunch of photos?
That what I was remembering yesterday?
Yeah, what you were trying to remember fully, but could only.
No,
well, then it's not that you took a photo and you turn off your brain.
No, I know what I'm saying. Okay, maybe this is not making any sense anymore. But it's not that I took a photo and turned off my brain. I mean, that specific thing, that specific party was a really good moment that I had with people and I had fun. And that's why I remember it. But I'm not talking about like those big, memorable moments so much. It's more about like the small things that sometimes happen throughout the day or through life, and you're like, oh, that was really cute, that was really funny, I want to remember it later. Like yesterday or the other day, I was walking to the gym to see you. We were gonna go swimming, and I was walking with Max, the exchange student who's currently staying in my house, and he started randomly changing the lyrics to the Kung Fu Panda song.
Yeah.
And I was like, I want to remember this. And I kind of want to record it so that I can listen to it later when he's gone and I can laugh about it because it's really funny. So it's like, I want to do it, but then I didn't do it. So now I'm like making a conscious effort because I know that I didn't record it and I want to still remember it. But there's like a laziness or a, not a laziness. That is not the word. It's more of a, like, oh, I can sit back, relax, and I don't have to worry about it. I can, como que me confío en que, you know? You know what I'm talking about?
Kind of. I mean, like, te confías of, you don't have to write it down because you'll remember?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which sometimes I do, but sometimes I don't. And it pisses me off when I can't remember stuff.
But I mean, because something similar happens with me and with Pablo, where I'm like, I'm being silly and I'll make up a song and then we really like it. And like 20 minutes later, I want to remember the song that I just made. And I will always tell him, you need to record me when I'm making songs because then we don't remember them. And I think that's just I don't think it's a laziness thing or even like me confío or, you know, like, oh, like it'll be fine. I think that's just maybe I think he was actually telling me that he saw something about, or maybe it was you, about how our brains in this day and age can't really hold a lot of information because there's always more information coming in. So we're very bad at like memory stuff. And in, you know, our parents and whatever, they're like, oh, they knew everybody's phone number and they knew everybody's whatever. And it's like, well, yeah, you didn't have like Instagram and Reels and YouTube and everything, just putting things into your brain all the time.
That's interesting. I'll try to remember my thought. Haha.
So I like moments like that. I just think, I wonder if it ties all together, or well, it kind of does all tie together of like our want and our need to look at these things, to remember these things, but tiny little details like that, I think we, like, so many are gonna be lost.
I mean, yeah, I'm not trying to encapsulate every single moment, which is part of the interesting thing, like philosophically or something, about would you want to really literally record every single moment?
I would, like, all the time. I'm just thinking, like, if only there was a camera just following me all of my life and I could just watch that.
See, that'd be so cool.
I know.
But anyway, and we could come back to this. But because the other thing that I was just thinking when you said that was that maybe because they couldn't outsource the information that they needed to remember, they didn't know as many random factoids as we know now. I don't know. Because now, like, I know my grandma says all the time, like, oh, you know so many things about so many random topics. And I'm like, well, yeah, I don't need to remember 50 people's phone numbers on the top of my head. I don't know. And also, like, in the past week, Max said to me that he didn't know his dad's birthday. And he also doesn't know his own phone number.
He doesn't know his own phone number?
Yeah, and it was like,
that's not hard.
How do you not know your phone number?
I mean, I get that, like, it takes you a little bit when you get a new phone number, but I'm like, it's your own phone number.
I know. I think he was talking about the Canadian one, maybe?
Oh, okay. So maybe he's not putting really, like, a lot of effort into knowing that.
Maybe both the Canadian and the German. I think he doesn't know either of them.
Wow.
Which I was like, no, make an effort.
Yeah.
It's such an easy thing to remember. That, but anyway. So, going back to having like a camera attached to you to record every single moment. Yeah, but that's where I mean, if that were possible, I don't know that I would want to have every single little thing recorded. I don't know.
Wouldn't you?
I mean, on the one hand, it'd be very useful for creative purposes.
Interesting.
Because I like to write a lot of stuff based on my experiences. I'm like one of those memes, like those writer memes of when you were giving your character all your trauma so that you can like that.
I see.
So that'd be handy.
Yeah.
But that's part of the... I mean, if you didn't have to think about it, if the camera just followed you...
Yes.
Then sure, I guess. We could give it a shot. We need a documentary, like a reality show crew following.
Yeah. Like the interesting thing is whenever I do like write in my journal or take photos or do anything that's along the lines of the documenting my life thing, there's a drive in me to do it that I'm not sure where it comes from. But more than that, like I have a pile of journals and I've actually never really gone into them to see what I wrote like 10 years ago or anything. It's just, I just do it in the moment and I know it's there, but I've never actually looked through.
I have. It's hilarious.
I would think.
Yeah. I mean, because one, either you're so stupid and problems were huge, but they were like the stupidest shit ever or something. Because at the time, you're like, oh, this problem is the worst thing in the world. And now you're like, no, that's just stupid. It was just so dumb. And I totally lost it. Totally. I saw it, it left me. But the other thing, yeah, I mean, your journals are like a good way of going about it.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like now, and this might be a big of a jump in like topic, but to me the question was more about not doing it like for yourself, because doing it for yourself is fine. I feel like, oh, I'm writing on my journal. Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm taking photos for me to look at afterwards. But as a public thing, like for public consumption, is a not a question maybe necessarily, but I'm like, we're documenting our lives on Instagram or Snapchat or Facebook or whatever social media of your preference. And to me, it doesn't feel genuine. Not all the time, but there's like a fakeness to it, like an embellishment, which falls into the romanticizing your life a little bit, maybe. Mm-hmm. Where, oh, we're doing this, but I feel like the motivation sometimes is not to do it for ourselves, but for other people. And my dad is always asking me why people post a bunch of stuff online. And he's like, but why? Why do they post a photo of the food that they had? And why do they do this? And why do they do that? And I'm like, there are several reasons, motivations people have, right? I do it so that I remember that I went to this place and the food was really good. But other people are just, showing it off, being paid to do it, or any other, reasons. So there's what
I was gonna say, when it like in that same thing of that I was saying about the journal, I don't look back. I do look back, like on my Instagram. I love looking at it because I think since coming to Vancouver or Canada, maybe in general, I made sort of an effort to document, and I'm using Instagram like as a tool, just like it's for myself. I know that people can see it and I like to share it, but it is, or I tell myself that it is for me, and I do look at it and I'm like, oh, and I try to post things like when of the things that I want to remember. So it's very mindful. It's very specific of like, oh, we went camping. I want to remember that this is the time that we went camping and we did this and it was like that.
But I think in doing that, or at least for me, there's this, what I find annoying about doing that for Instagram specifically is that it feels very posy. And like, oh, a photo for Instagram where we're gonna be like standing like this, looking out, and like, oh, like a candid photo or some fake shit, which is not candid at all, and it's staged as fuck. And I'm like, that it just drives me up the fucking wall because it's not being organic. It's not in the moment. We're like, oh, you're actually, a friend of yours took a photo of you that looks cute and that you liked it. I feel like that I like a lot better than spending 10 minutes somewhere taking photos. Like,
I don't know, having photo shoots is a lot of fun.
I know we've talked about this before, not on camera. But I don't know, it does annoy me. I'm like, just have fun, to me.
But we are having fun.
I know. You are having fun.
Yeah.
I don't think it's fun.
But didn't you, in our conversation, weren't you more like, I want to be more into it?
I want to be more into it just for vanity, to have cute photos. But it does annoy me that is a part of the trip, Like, oh, we're stopping here for 15 minutes to take, well, not selfies because they're not selfies, but to have a photo shoot where you're going to post 20 times and, it's just like...
But I feel like you're taking it too hard because like right now, sure, there's Instagram and there's the phones and you can take a shit ton of photos of the same pose. But before that, it was just like a Kodak camera and like a family and being like, cheese, and it's a pose and you're taking a photo. And I feel like it's the same thing.
No, I feel like it's not.
But it is. The only difference is that you're taking a shit ton of photos because your phone can take it and you can choose the photo.
See, that's part of what annoys me. That before it was more because of the scarcity of it, I guess. You had like, oh yeah, you take the family photo, and however it comes out, that's what it's going to be. I mean, you may take another one, but you're not going to take 20. And there's like a charm in that I think is lost when you have 50 photos that all look the same. Because at least for me, it's so annoying. It's like a chore to go through all of them and find the perfect one and retouch it probably, and then discard all the other ones because it's a waste of space. And because I already have to do it on a job basis, I'm like, I don't want to do what I do for work again when I'm going on a trip. I just want to like look at the cute photos that I took, So I think that's partially what annoys me about it.
Okay.
But
I mean, in that case, all you have to say to the people taking your photo is like, just take 2. However they come out, I'll be done with it.
I mean, sure.
Or?
But I feel like I want to indoctrinate people to do it the same way.
No.
I know it's a fantasy. I know. Let me have my fantasy. But that's kind of what that's part of documenting the life thing. That not that necessarily we do it. Because it's not I'm not complaining about something that we do. It's more of a well, we don't do it, but people around us do it.
What do you mean?
That, oh, we're going down this mountain or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you and I don't do it, but people around us do it.
Mm-hmm.
And my point, I think, is, I'm trying to, like, narrow it down.
Mm-hmm.
That instead of doing whatever activity you are supposed to be doing,
Mm-hmm.
you instead get distracted and start going on the photo shoot situation because it's for the gram, you know? And so
Mm-hmm.
Sure, you get cute pictures.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to say no. But it's like, it takes away, I feel like, for me, from the main event.
I'm like, but I feel like that's a speech that you're telling yourself that you heard somewhere of someone else saying the exact same thing.
It's not a speech. It's like I'm genuinely annoyed at how, we need to do this again because it needs to look pretty for Instagram, you know?
No, like I do see there are times, and I agree, where like I'm done. Like I don't want to take more photos. I don't want to do this. Like, yes, I get it. But I also don't think that, for example, when we went camping and we were doing like a photo shoot and we were taking photos, it's like we were done with the camping. We found this this cute lake. We were leaving and it was like, oh, like let's take a photo of the moment and like to remember the camping trip and whatever. And it wasn't just like, oh yeah, the one photo of like the three of us or whatever. Mm-hmm. It was like a photo shoot. And we did get really cute photos and everything. So I feel like, again, to me, saying that it's for the gram, it's for all my fans and followers. Like, no, but I do care about my Instagram as a journal for myself. Like I do care about the photo. I do choose the photos that I want and everything and stuff. And I think of, I'm going to post this one and then this one and then the other one because it's going to look like this in the grid. But that's more for me than it is for people because I treat my Instagram grid like a journal. I understand that sometimes it's annoying. Like, can we stop taking photos? I get it. But I wouldn't go as far as to say that every time that we're taking photos and we take 20 photos because it's just like pressing the button 20 times. It doesn't take 10 minutes. So it's a bit of making it a lot more than it really is, especially if like just because you're having a photo shoot doesn't mean that it takes away from what you were doing, or like it makes the camping trip less, for example, or some whatever other thing we were doing, or like when we went to the cherry blossoms, and like I don't think it made if anything, I think it made the cherry blossom festival better because it was a little boring. So,
I mean, I understand or at least the way I would understand it is, I get it if you're looking for a certain visual with the photos that you take or the photos that you collect.
Mm.
But, I mean, I would criticize it the same way, even though it's something that I do, as you're like doctoring the memory a little bit, or editing it, you know? Whether it's a good or a bad thing, like, it just feels to me like, oh, you're like selecting the pretty side of it. And that did feel like a rant maybe a little bit, but and I'm not saying we spent the entire trip going. Maybe it's that it does feel like that sometimes. Like, there are moments when, oh, we're done with the camping, this is a cute spot, and it doesn't feel like a chore to do it. But there are other times when it does, and that's when I'm like, fucking get over it, you know? It's the same, it's your face, same thing.
It didn't change in the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. That annoys me. And also let's for the real, let's take the shot like 5 more times. Like, it's a reel.
But that's more of a job thing.
30 seconds there, you know? Yeah, I know it's a job thing.
Yeah.
It still annoys me though, because of the short-livedness of these things. But anyway,
I do like our reels though. I think they're cute, and I do think they serve the like remembering, because the reels feel, at least ours, or like when we take videos, they feel less posy, if anything. Because I think we're just filming shit that we're doing.
Yes, and that's what that's what my goal would be with all these things, you know, to actually make it a candid moment that you're recording because you happen to have a phone in your hand at the time. So that's why if I look through my phone, I have a bunch of photos that are probably terrible photos of people, but they're really funny. And they're, I think, make the collection of photos that I have way better than if everybody looked pretty all the time, you know?
I think that's just like it depends on what you like. Because someone might like them funny, and someone might like them pretty, and someone might like everything or like nothing.
I know. What I'm saying, if anything, at this point, is that I can see, well, I mean, in this particular case, why you like it to be pretty, because it's your journal.
Yes.
That sounds like way too much work to me.
Sometimes it does feel like work.
It's like fucking no.
But you know, like it's still, I will say, for like my Instagram grid and whatever, or like the back here, I have like, I don't know that we can see. Oh yeah, we can. But like you can't see the part that actually has photos. Yeah. But like this here, back there, where it could, this way, here. There. So this frame thing actually has printed photos.
No, my arm is not that.
No. There. It's okay. I was like, yeah, there. And I'm trying to do a collection. So at the end of the year, I want the whole frame to be full of pictures of the year. So I have like 3 photos for January, and then February, and then March, and April. And it's a bit of a like Instagram, but outside, that I'm trying to do. And it's the same thing of documenting it. And I do want it to be pretty. And maybe back to the romanticizing thing, there is something about beauty that is more than superficial and just like, oh, it's pretty, so then it's dumb. Like, no. Just because you post, like, for example, there's the one photo where I'm like, we're at the camping thing and I'm like this, and there's the mountain and everything. And that was post, like, and there's a shit ton of photos of that same pose. Yes. But it does evoke in me, at least, which is what I care about, that feeling of like, oh, adventure and going outside and being at the lake and the mountain. And it gives me that sensation. So I don't care that it's post. Interesting. You know? But before you keep ranting about how you don't like it, I want to go back to...
It's fine, I'll stop ranting.
I just want to know what you are going to say about this. I want to go back a little bit and explore the part of you that in our previous conversation was saying that you are interested in taking more photos of yourself. Because I think just now when you said that it was more of a vanity thing, I don't think so. I think the last time we were talking about it, you were like, no, like I want to see myself. And we're talking about self-image and the fact that like you look different and you've changed. And I think it's more along the lines of that. And it doesn't have to be it's just for vanity. It's just for to have more cute photos of myself. Like maybe it's part of it, but what is that part of you that does want to take pretty photos of yourself?
It's not that I want to take pretty photos of myself.
Okay.
It's more of...
Oh, that you want to see, I think what you said to me was that you don't have enough photos or like as many photos of you or something like that, is what you were saying.
Yeah, it's something that I was wondering about in the whole Instagram of things. Because there are times when I am self-conscious about it. About taking photos of myself. Like I much rather take a photo of something. Not even people, just stuff. Sometimes people is also fun. But I still do find it... I do find the photo shoot annoying, as I've previously mentioned, in case you might have missed that. But because in general, one, I feel like people don't know how to take photos. So I'm like, let's not even try. It will suck. And maybe I have a very high bar. That's one. The other option is I want it to be, along the same line of people take bad photos, I would like it to not be posed, to not feel fake. In the same way that, as previously stated as well, like those photos that you're saying, like where you're looking up or whatever, I'm like, what the actual fuck? You know? That seems so fake to me. And and I kept being like, I don't know if I actually annoyed you about it or if I just said it. Wait. I don't know if I actually annoyed you about it or if I just thought of it. But I was like, you always do this. What is the deal with this?
Oh, the pose?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Because that's like my pose.
Yeah. To me, it's like so fake. So made up. Like it doesn't mean anything if I did it, you know?
Well, yeah, that's like you give it the meaning. So
now
that's kind of up to you.
I can see that. I can understand why you're doing it.
Yeah.
I would never do it still. Unless it was a photo that, I was actually looking out at the random thing over there and somebody took a photo of me and I happened to look good. Then I would keep it. Then it'd be like, that is a cute photo. I have some of those actually that people have taken.
Yes.
And that I like. So that's one. And the other one is, about self-image. And this can turn into a whole other episode at this point. But there's this, relationship I have with photos of myself where I've said in other cups of tea that I've seen other pictures of me, or maybe I also said this in a pocket, where I look at it. And at the time, I remember my grandma or my mom or whoever being very obnoxious, or maybe not obnoxious, but the weight issue was like still, I was being pressured into, the nutritionist, losing weight, eating less garbage. That was the only thing I saw, and I thought I looked terrible, and then I looked back, and turns out I don't actually, as terrible as I felt at the time. So there's that. That is one. And the other is, when you asked, at some point you asked me, like, if I saw myself, if the way I look now is the way I see myself or something along those lines.
If you, there was a question about if the way you think that you look, like when you think of Majo and you're like, oh, this is Majo, and you have a mental image of yourself, if that is what you see in the mirror, kind of, was my question.
I mean, it kind of is, but not entirely. So, to the same effect, something I've thought about is if I don't look the way I see myself, why would I want to take a photo of that?
I mean, that makes sense.
But, and also because I would be very mean to myself. And be like, no, let's just not do that. And because I didn't like, same thing. Like, I didn't like the way I looked. So I would just not take photos. Because why would I? If I don't like, if I don't like it. But I also think of how I really like taking pictures of other people when it's like, oh, it's so cute and they're having fun and everything looks pretty. And I take pictures of like my friends or my family, and I'm the one that is doing that. But then I look at the pictures and I'm like, oh, everybody's there except for me.
Yeah.
So it's more of a, I literally want to be in the picture. To remember the moment.
But it's so then it's more of a group thing. Like you want to be in the thing, but not photos of you.
Yeah, I don't care about photos. Like those ones we took in the last camping trip where I'm like looking at the world. I feel ridiculous. Like that's so stupid to me. Interesting. So
I thought you liked them because when I put them on the grid, you were like, "Oh yeah, a grid looks really cute."
I mean,
the pen and water one.
There's one I like that is really funny to me where I'm kicking your butt or something.
Yeah, see, those are funny, and great. Those were part of the photo shoot.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I don't know. I was thinking of the other camping trip.
Oh, what? The first photo shoot? The second camp.
The waterfall.
Oh. You're kicking me in the waterfall? No, you're the trying to get Pablo. What are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
You behind me and Pablo trying to give us bunny ears at the waterfall.
Oh no, yeah, that's funny. That I like. That is hilarious.
Yeah, those are funny.
But they happened. I'm like, what the actual, No, I wouldn't. I don't like doing that.
No,
I mean,
this is not.
I was kind of doing it. But that's what I mean.
A river, she means. A river.
I was talking about the waterfall because there are photos at the waterfall, but that one's the first one I found, which is the same thing. Whereas me, in the middle of a river, in the background, where the river doesn't even look good, I think, don't even look good. Nothing looks good. It's just a fucking Instagram photo to me.
No. See, the thing, here's the thing. I think because you are not comfortable posing for these photos, then I
also think because you're not showing the thing, Like, if I took that photo...
I did not take this photo.
I know you didn't. And that's part of the thing. But because you're not showing anything to me.
Yeah. I know.
So, if it was... there's this one where you were in were in the way. It was fucking annoying. There was this cute mountain in the back. But... Danny, our friend who was taking the photos, couldn't get the stupid mountain because you guys were in the rock. And I guess she didn't say anything and I didn't notice. And so I was like, that is a photo of absolutely nothing.
But it's not a photo of nothing. It's a photo of you.
I know, but like, why do I want a picture of myself like that? That's my point. I don't care about that.
Well, the thing is that I think it's that thing of it makes you uncomfortable and you don't know how to pose. Because a photo can just be a photo of you in the place so that you just remember you in the place.
I'd rather take a photo of the place to remember the place.
That's also a thing? Like, that can be a thing?
That's the thing. If I want to remember a place, I'd rather take a photo of the place. I don't care about me being in the photo.
Well, then why are you taking these photos?
I feel like I was... Our flirty neighbor gave me a nice shade for the front. What? Flirty neighbor.
Interesting. Didn't know you had a flirty neighbor.
Neither did I. I don't like posing when in those situations. No, I don't.
Why do you do it?
For funsies, I can pose and take like a photo shoot or whatever, but for funsies, you know?
Okay.
If I wanted to remember a place, I would take a photo of the place. And in those, I mean, I did it because I kind of wanted to try it.
Okay.
But I don't like the event of doing it.
Okay.
Like, yeah, it just feels ridiculous. Not that I don't want to take photos of myself. Like, I would like to. I feel like we don't have a photo of just you and me. Like, I would like to have had taken that photo.
Yeah. We didn't.
You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like we're just circling over my rant.
A little. Like, I think if it's for funsies, if you like, if you're jokey photos of you posing, but you were purposefully being silly about it, like, that could be a thing because you're making fun of the posing. If you were interested in having those photos, were like,
I mean, yeah, I think, and I have some of those. I feel like,
you know, if that's your art, making fun of the pretty photo, like, that could be it. But I just find, like, I'm just trying to, I do like that you said that, oh, I was trying it out. Because, like, kudos for trying it out. And maybe you realize that, like, no, I was right originally. I don't like this, and that's fine. So, I don't know. Does that mean that from now on you don't want to be in front of the camera when we do the photo shoots?
I don't want it to be the way it is. That's what I mean. I think that's the
I mean, what we could try next time we go out.
More photos in the moment instead of making it a photo shoot is what I would do. Like, oh, we're walking around. We do this random thing that could be pretty, could be funny, could be both. I don't know. And we take a photo of that instead of, oh, this is now photo shoot time and we're going to post and blah, blah, blah. Because, yeah, it just feels like, I mean, posing feels very like, what am I? Posing for a magazine? Which I don't mind. I could do. That'd be fun. That'd be cool. Fashion. Whatever. But
funny, so that you don't find silly.
Yeah, no, that I don't find silly.
Interesting.
That makes perfect sense to me. But this sounds
just why?
So stupid. Because it's not even, you're not modeling, you're not taking a photo for the memory of it. You're like this weird thing in between, I guess.
But how is it not a memory of the thing? Just because it's a post. It's still a memory of the thing.
Because it is a pose. Because it is something that you kind of made up. That's what feels fake to me about it.
But you're still, if you pose for a photo, you're still going to remember the trip.
I know you are. But, and that's maybe just a philosophy, like a different philosophy for taking photos, which is fine. I would not find that to be like the way I would like to remember a thing, not by taking a posy photo.
Okay, I mean, sure.
I would be like, oh, we're walking. I feel like there's an album of photos that we took in like English Bay or something where
when it was snowy?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I feel those the ones that I took, I like when it was randomly, I think you were walking on a
pile of logs.
And that was funny and that was cute and that looked pretty. So
that was a photo shoot though.
not at first. It became a photo shoot because I was taking photos just of random stuff, and then you and the beach were like putting your feet there or something.
Yeah.
So I took that photo, and then it became a photo shoot. And then it was like, oh, now you do this, now I do that, now, you know?
Well, I think the photo shoot doesn't have to be just posy. Because, again, so when we went camping, and there's the me in the mountain photo, there were those photos, but there's also silly photos, like all the photos that I take of your butt. And, like, when you were kicking me off the log and thing. So I think we do the silly photos.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that we don't do them. It's more like, how do I explain this? It's the ones that you just take in the moment when they're happening. You know?
Like, okay, so I'm trying to understand. So you would just like for the photo shoots to just be like if from the photo shoots that we've done, if we just could delete the whole like, oh, now take this photo, and now take this photo, and now take this photo, and now take this photo. That's what you would want to delete.
I mean, yeah, sure, ideally. Because in this effort to document our lives, that feels more like what? Like a portrait photo session, and not like actually documenting it as it happens. You know? So that's I mean, that's part of it.
Okay. No, like the documenting it as it happens thing. I get. I just think we tend to do that more in video than we do in photo. So maybe that's just something to explore next time we do something and take more photos instead of more videos.
I feel like that's what my phone looks like.
What does your phone look like?
With like random photos of, oh, this funny thing is happening right now, and I'm taking a photo of it. That's like the other thing that I was mentioning when we were doing the interview for the documentary was the 3 kinds of stuff on my camera roll, which is actual photos that I do like, random stuff from life, like, oh, the QR code that you need to scan, or the document, or the blah, blah, blah. And then other people's photos that they've taken with your phone. And they're just most, like, 90% junk.
Yeah.
So, those, those particularly annoy me. Especially when it's, like, 1 photo or 2, that's fine. When it's the same thing 20 times, so the same photo, just 20,000 versions, yes, drive me up the fucking wall.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because it becomes a chore. I already do this in Lightroom, people. I don't need to do it on my phone.
All right.
Well, thank you for the rant.
Yeah.
This is not how I envisioned this episode.
No.
At all. But anyway.
I don't know if we got to any conclusions as to about documenting our lives.
Philosophical question, to our nice philosophical question about what happens with documenting our lives. No, there was no answer. It was just...
it was just a rant. Should you post for your photos for the gram, basically?
Yeah. Answer, no.
I mean, I think it's fine. I think you can do it. She won't.
I mean, do you have an awesome outfit? Sure. Post. I'm okay with that. Should you, in the middle of
it's so silly that because of the outfit, then it merits a post.
It's a fashion thing. Yeah, it does.
But to me, then it just feels like you're demeriting your everyday life because it's not fashion or it's not the real thing when it can be the real thing.
Well, to me, posing during your real life feels fake at the same time then. Like, you're stopping in the middle of your day to I'm not gonna mock your once again, but to like stop and do some unnatural thing that you wouldn't, like, you're going out of your way to do this thing to embellish your life, to make it prettier or whatever. That's what I'm not gonna do.
I feel like there's a little something in there about like posing means faking that I'm not buying it. Because like, with fashion, you're okay with it. But if it's just you on the mountain, then it's like, no.
I mean, I'm not going to, if I look good, that does not mean that I'm going to stop and pose and take a photo of that. And it's not like that. It's more of, if I'm dressing up for something, like I don't know, like my graduation photos, I guess, or something. But not even. I didn't even post for those. I feel like there's group photos, there's funny photos with my friends. But yeah, I mean, I just, no. It just sounds ridiculous. But anyway.
Yeah, she can keep going. She can keep going.
Yes. Our guy in the chair has instructed, I feel like I was going to say instructed us, but it felt like instructed me to say, in spite of this episode, to comment. I mean, we always tell you to comment stuff, but comment and like and subscribe, because that's what is required of us from this medium, apparently. So do it if you liked this episode. If you laughed, if you agreed, if you thought I was insane, if you want to rant yourself, just for funsies.
Yeah, give us your opinion. Is it okay to post in your Instagram photos, or does that take away from real life?
And we will see you next week.
Bye.
Not next week, though.
Next month.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing a cup of tea with us.
To watch more episodes of A Cup of Tea, click the link on the right. If you want to watch Pockets in the Universe, go to a playlist on the left.